What's up YouTube? Zero here, and today I'm going to be going into my minions build in Remnant from the Ashes. So first I'm going to go over the build, then we're going to get into some gameplay and I'll talk about some of my choices. So the top two guns, or the two guns that I'm using on this build, are the submachine gun with Seed Caller and the hunting rifle with Beacon. Now, something to note, you are calling in minions, and on the screen you're going to say you could get up to 3 minions of each. Remnant just came out with a patch, which is why I had to re-record the voiceover on this video. You can only summon up to 2 now of each, and they're dealing more damage. So you can't summon as many, but they're doing a little bit more damage. For the melee, I'm using the spear, and the armor, I'm using the hunter set, which gives me plus 25 range damage. For my wearables, I'm using the Rock of Anguish, the Jewel of the Black Sun, and the Stone of Balance. So what those do is Jewel of the Black Sun increases range damage by 5% for 10 seconds after a ranged kill, which stacks up to 4 times. The Stone of Balance increases ranged and melee damage by 10%. And the Rock of Anguish increases movement speed by 25% and reload speed by 50% for 3 seconds after taking damage. For the traits, the 5 that I'm saying you should work on, we just saw a little bit on the screen. You should go with Mother's Blessing, which decreases incoming range damage. You got Quick Hands, which increases reload speed. Then you have Exploiter, Executioner, and Kingslayer, all which focus on weak spot damage, critical hit damage, and critical hit chance. Now that's the build. So why have I chosen what I've chosen? First, let's start with the guns. The submachine gun is good for rushing enemies. It's also good when you're up close and personal to a boss. As you see there, I'm hitting the boss with the submachine gun, and my minion, my Seed Caller, is going up extremely quickly. The hunting rifle is for the longer range enemies. You're going to be taking out enemies at long range as well. It's also the heavy hitter. It's a damage dealer. And I wanted to use 2 guns that were readily available, easy to get. And this combination of submachine gun and hunting rifle gives a good balance of taking out enemies at close range and taking out enemies at longer range. Seed Caller and Beacon are both very good mods. One calls in a minion that attacks enemies on the ground. The other calls in that skull that attacks enemies in the sky. I should talk about how you get them. Beacon you get from defeating Raze, that boss, and Seed Caller you get from defeating the Mangler. So those are 2 bosses you want to be on the lookout for if you do want to get these 2 mods. But there are other minions in the game. These are not the only 2 minions that you can call in. These are just the 2 minions that I was able to unlock. Now, you're going to be trying to stay away from the damage, or kind of away from a lot of minions as much as possible, which is why I recommend you getting Mother's Blessing, because you're going to be taking range damage. You want to limit that damage as much as possible. If you are getting kind of up close, kind of like I am there, a little bit closer to the action, you're going to want something to help you out, which is 1, why I'm using the submachine gun, and 2, why I'm using the Rock of Anguish. If you're taking damage, you want to move a little bit quicker, and getting that reload speed, you're getting yourself back into the fight a little bit quicker as well. So that's the build. It's a pretty simple build. One thing I failed to mention earlier is that if you don't want to use the hunter armor, the cultist armor is also very good on this build, because the cultist armor, your hits are generating additional mod power. I just prefer the range damage. That's a personal preference, but the cultist armor probably also works really well on this build. It looks like we're coming down to the end of this video, but I hope you enjoyed this, and if you did, feel free to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to my channel for more Remnant from the Ashes content. Let me know what you think about this build in the comments section. Until next time, peace.